Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truth Table. I'm Paul Everton. This is season 3, episode 11, and my special guest is Trevor Peace. We're going to be talking about the Gnostic texts, and I've really been looking forward to that. I'm not live on Facebook anymore, but I did post the YouTube link there, and we're on Rumble and X. And going to get Trevor on. Oh, yeah, happy Canada's Day to everyone. I hope you are all safe because it's very hot outside. And I look forward to our conversation about the Gnostic texts because the Gnostic texts are the scriptures that were written and used by Gnostic Christians in late antiquity. Those groups also used some of the texts that would later make their way into the official New Testament, such as the writings attributed to the Apostle Paul and John. But the scriptures that we today call Gnostic texts are the ones that were only used by the Gnostics and were written by them to articulate a distinctively Gnostic perspective on the world and salvation. These texts are literally expressions of a remarkable spiritual vision that continues to inspire people today, almost 2 millennia after they were written. I'm going to bring Trevor on right after this.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yes, the third season. I did not expect to have 3 seasons. And that every show was based on something I thought was very important for humanity to um, share. A lot of times it was guests who were whistleblowers to show what was happening behind closed doors within corporations, within government, and this is why the Gnostic texts are important because of what they say, and like the book of Enoch and the book of Judas, and there's so many things that were not put into the Bible. And the book of Enoch, I can see very clearly many reasons why they excluded it because it really went against their agenda, their lies and what they're selling the population. And it's really a dirty, dirty business, I find. And as I was telling Trevor earlier, the religions were designed to pin one against the other, in my opinion. But I like to thank Trevor for coming on, especially now on his birthday. So it's quite a sacrifice to come on your birthday and on Canada Day. So thank you so much, Trevor, for coming on the Truth Table for your first time.
My
Well,
pleasure.
so the Gnostic text, what was it that put you in that direction, like to look at that?
Well, I used to go by the handler Astral Trev 11, and this was an old email handle of mine. Basically, I've been traversing the cosmos ever since I was a little kid. I always had the ability to timeline jump, astral travel, lucid dream, false awaken, these type of things. And what I noticed is I would also get real phrases in meditations. And after reading. Have you heard of the book Supernatural by Graham Hancock?
No, I haven't heard
Well,
that.
after reading that book about the DNA and about timelines, different realms, etc., I got a message. And the message was, why cut down all the trees when you can just cut down one? And that was my first experience of what I believe is gnosis. Uh, a remarkable experiential epiphany that anybody has during their day or life. And it's a real spiritual revelation, and it happens without notice. And so I didn't know to describe it gnosis. This was later on. I found out about Sethian and Valentinian Gnosticism from 2,000 years ago. And I found out about the Nag Hammadi texts in Egypt from 1945 that were unearthed. And then, of course, I went undercover at a Baptist church and found out how the churches are what I call false Gnostic institutions. So I was undercover at the church for 2 years at a Baptist church.
Hmm.
And I guess the one thing that jumped out at me, Paul, is that the Gnostics said that God of the Old Testament, that character itself, is called the Demiurge. Have you
Yeah.
heard that?
Yes.
And I wanted to use Gnosis to come up with a more modern name for this entity, because it's easy to blame an external entity for all our problems, as Christianity does, right?
Speaking of entity, I'm hearing some kind of entity when you're speaking in my headphones. It is very freaky. But do you have any experience with things that you don't see?
That's my specialty. Uh,
Okay.
I actually just recently traversed to Memphis, Tennessee, 2014. I timeline jumped and went to Tennessee, Memphis.
Well,
I recently, what's that?
it could be your microphone. I'm just saying it sounds like something is trying to talk to me, like trying to break through, and it sounds very it sounds very like almost demonic. It's kind of creepy, but
Is it like
it's it's only when you're talking.
oh, okay.
So it could be your
Uh,
headphones, it could be your microphone, but I'm
is
just gonna
it
ignore it because
okay?
I'm not gonna give it any
Okay.
credibility.
I I want to go back a second though, and for
Mhm.
just want to say for the last 2 years, I've been studying the Nag Hammadi texts for two
Okay.
years. I've
Hmm.
used AI as well to help me in that endeavor and to,
Mm.
like Manly P. Hall, synopsize these mysteries and figure out what are the Nag Hammadi texts really trying to say.
Mm.
And there's a Nag Hammadi text called the Hypostasis of the Archons, and it's a map on the Demiurge and the Archons and their rule over 3D reality as we know it.
Hmm. No,
And
I just
yeah,
want to stop for a second. Okay, it's coming through. It's coming through the live, that sound. So whatever I'm hearing, everyone's hearing. I just
should I take my headphones off?
Are they wireless?
They're wireless.
That could be just what's doing it. But yeah, I
Okay.
just wanted to hear our live to see if it's
I'll
happening.
take down the I'll
Yeah,
turn off the headphones and then I'll
see
talk
if it
into the
happens.
phone.
Yeah, see if fixes it.
Okay, hang on. Is there
you'll have
a
to you'll have to listen to it, uh, and you'll hear it. It's scary. It's scary because because of what we're talking about. All right, let's see if it stopped.
How's that?
All right. It stopped.
It stopped?
It was the headphones, yeah. Can you still hear me okay though?
I can hear
Every-
you. I just have to come closer to the
Oh,
screen.
no, it started again. Son of a gun. So, what could it be? Okay, you could probably put the headphones on again.
Okay.
And what I would do is I would try leaving and coming back into the stream because it might just be a connection thing as well.
Try what?
Like try exiting the screen and then coming,
Okay.
like leaving the stream and coming right back,
Okay.
because it could be that. And if it's not that, we'll just keep going. I mean, it's not gonna matter so much as the topic is so important and timely, I think. Okay, now I lost your sound. Yeah, okay, he's going to leave and he's going to come back because we want the truth. In the Gnostic texts, they found them when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. I mean, a lot of this made it into the book, and some didn't. And what didn't make it is really what's important today. It's what didn't make it, um, and why. Why do you think it didn't make it? That's what we're going to talk about. Welcome back. Let's see if that worked.
Can you hear me?
Ooh, the sound's even better.
This sounds
Yeah,
better.
it's very clean.
Well,
Yeah.
I noticed you're quite shadow banned on Facebook.
Oh, I can't go live on Facebook. They cut my monetization. I can't even pin. I can't even pin posts. Oh, of course, I say way too much on Facebook. Like I should know better. I'm wise enough to know that I should not say certain things because I say anyone can become a Jew. Anyone can convert to Judaism.
Yeah.
Anyone can convert to Islam or Christianity, and anyone can be a bad person and do that and do
Oh yeah.
terrible things. And that is not hate. You hate the sin, not the sinner, right? So uh, I do cross the line, but I try to speak to the words like anti-Semitism. Gaza is filled with Semitic people.
Yeah.
Bombing them is anti-Semitic. So it's projection that's happening here. It's not against the Jewish people. It's a linguistics. It's language like
And
English and French.
and and that's interesting. That's very interesting because remember how I called the demiurge the archonic operator of the 3D world according to the Gnostics?
Hmm.
Well, I have another word, another name, a new version, and that is instead of Satan, I call it say a ton because it's a linguistic semantic spell of
Hmm.
repetition that we're under um, by texts like the Bible that has 800,000 words and images of
Yeah.
repetition that you have to chew through and often never find your inner intuition or prophecy.
Hmm. Yeah, and Gadriel has inserted himself everywhere. Like Gadriel's only named in the Book of Enoch. That's the only place. Everywhere else, he's the serpent and Satan. But Satan is an adverb. It describes a noun, the adversary, the accuser, and even Lucifer is an adverb. It's the light bearer, like a firefly is a light bearer.
Eh,
We
Well,
are
and
light bearers,
we are
angels.
s- we are Satan metaphorically for being systems busters. We are
Yes,
ironically Satan. It
yeah,
depends how you define it with symbology or denotation.
yeah,
But the semantics of it is that we never slow down to recapitulate what style of thought imprisons us and what style of
yeah,
thought
yeah,
frees us. And that's where the term say a ton, you
yeah,
can tell right away that that is a style of speech that our
yeah.
leaders use to enslave humanity.
Yes, yes. English language is about spells, and definitely um, the devil, um, God, GAD. It's pronounced GAWD, but it's spelt in the Bible
God.
GOD, and he inserted himself The second word is Elohim.
Yeah.
Elohim is a plural. It means deity, kind, like the Anunnaki, the
Yeah.
sons of God.
Yeah.
And so it refers to them and their intervention and their procreation. They changed us to look like them, and then they started having sex with us, and it became a big problem. And the Sumerian tablets really explains this very clearly. But when I went and translated, I found Gadriel had replaced Elohim with himself, getting people to say in the beginning God. So he
Yeah.
inserted himself all throughout the Bible, like thousands of times, replacing other words.
Well, and a prime example in the Old Testament is Genesis 2:17. If thou eat off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt surely die.
Yeah.
As a direct violent punishment for having and possessing gnosis.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the last page of the King James Bible, it threatens you with the 7 plagues.
Yeah.
The first plague is the mark of the beast, for instance, and that's not even the other 6 plagues. And it threatens you that if you change one word or reverse one passage in the Bible, you will be smited down.
Yeah. It says it happens 3 times in the Bible where it says that. I've studied the Bible, so I know for sure there's 3 places that it says it 3 times, and basically the Vatican doesn't care. So here's what I found here. This is my work here, my
Yeah.
translation. But here is Ruach. This is the goddess they removed, and it's right here in Genesis, right in here. See,
Yeah.
Ruach,
Yeah. Yeah.
Elohim. So
Yeah.
she's from Elohim, so she's one of them, and she's Ruach, and that translates to feminine noun. So right away, I I went, oh, holy smokes, the Queen of Heaven, the Virgin Goddess. And in the Sumerian tablets, she admits to making mistakes. Women were fertile, and so they admitted to being imperfect. That's why I just believed the Sumerian tablets so much more, because they also referred to the Creator. And as a native, I pray using the word Creator. I don't say God.
Yes.
I don't pray to Jesus or Mary or Joseph or Saint
But
Jude.
it's different when you have the tone of the real seed of creation, and you can use metaphor to describe it as the one, as you can describe it in so many different ways.
Now, the Gnostic texts were found with the Dead Sea Scrolls, right?
Yeah.
That's what I really want to get into because of the interpretation and role. And his name wasn't even Jesus, and that's the other thing. His name is Yahusha. His
Yahusha.
father is Yahuwah, and so the father's name is within the name of the son, and even that is a sin to me. That's like someone calling to me and using the word Peter, the name Peter. It's a deflection. The whole Bible has been written to deflect prayer away from source.
I agree with you 100% because I went undercover at a Grace Baptist church, and I found out the exact same thing. I was horrified, absolutely horrified to find that out.
And it is horrifying, especially when you really are genuine and you really want to get close to the Creator and find out as much as you can. I did that by studying different religions, and I also saw what Gadriel had done. To me, Gadriel created the Quran. He's behind that, and he's behind the editing of the Bible, inserting himself everywhere, and getting people, and the power of the word. That's the magic that we have, is using the right words, because words can be used as spells, but they can also be used to bless, to heal.
Well, and again, I want to give another example of pure gnosis, because gnosis truth is sticky. it's easy to intuit and remember. And I think remembrance is one of the first keys to gnosis. You just instantly remember the truth. You don't know how. You feel it in your bones, like an epiphany. But while I was investigating this pastor, who I found out was a wolf in sheep's clothing, I was in meditation, and I heard his voice. And he said, honestly, I will not operate in cognizant. So I heard the voice say that to me. And the first thing I remembered is that I asked him, what style of thought does he operate? So although he never answered to me directly, he answered me spiritually in my meditation because it was with his own voice. And he said, honestly, I will not operate in cognizant. And I remember in the Bible there's a lot of times when the writer says honestly, and usually when you have to say honestly, it's a lie.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
true.
interpreted the word incognizant as a New Age Latin noun, which means in con, a sin, like
Yeah.
in cognizant, in con
Yeah.
artistry. So he said, honestly, I will not operate in con artistry. But as soon as I heard him say honestly, I knew it was a lie.
Yeah. But they also, they also hide things through using different languages. Like Pope Gregory changed our calendar to make us out of sync with the Creator's clock, the moon,
Yeah,
13 moon cycles,
yeah,
and so the Vatican comes from the Latin word Vatican. So Vatican isn't
yes,
even a word, but Vatican describes Gadriel, the divining serpent, and it explains their role to control the religions of the world.
yes. You came up with another name for the demiurge. The Gnostic, that would be the Gnostic version of the demiurge, is your God real,
Yeah, Gadriel. Yeah, and
Gadriel.
yeah, and it's spelled Gad, God. It sounds like God, and that's how he fooled the nations of the world. I mean, he really did a great job. See, this entity was there long before Adam and Eve. He's the son of the creator. The creator is his father. He loves his father. He loves himself. He's highly intelligent. He has ancient knowledge, which is why he had the wisdom and knowledge to change the standard tuning of music from 432 to 440. All these little
Yes,
tweaks in our world to
and
keep us away from his father because he doesn't believe that we deserve his father.
I agree with that. I think we've got to reverse, release, and restore the ship, the body, and that starts with remembering what and who we already are, our intrinsic nature, like the child voice octave, which all singers have. From high C to the C above, we started this world in a magical octave, and for some reason, by the time we were 15, we lost the high octave. Maybe not you. You're a singer, so you didn't lose your high octave.
No,
But
I didn't. Sorry.
is the first notes we said as a baby, the first
Yeah.
scream out of the womb was the high-pitched C. And
Ah.
we were furnished with this child voice octave, so I'm a big believer that the child voice octave is a tool that nature intended to furnish us with,
Mm.
and it's a way that you can actually absorb light, because the higher you sing a note, you also simultaneously add a lower note. So I really feel like the kingdom of heaven is within you, and that's really the Gnostic phrase that comes over time and time again. When you synopsize the Nag Hammadi text, the phrase that was portrayed in the movie Stigmata, you've seen that, right?
Yes, yes.
At the very last phrase of the movie was, the kingdom of God is within you. And I think that that movie was definitely Gnostic oriented and realizing a heavy realization that the church is a false Gnosis institutional loosh harvesting farm.
Yes, yes, yes. It is very dark, and it's sad. It really makes someone who's in the know feel very lonely, very alone. Like, because
Well, it's
the whole
staggering.
world. It's staggering to know how many people are just enveloped, and the more religious people are, the more enveloped. Because they're in the wrong pointing, they're being deflected away from the fact that the kingdom of heaven is within, it's inside of us. And that's what the battle right now is for
Yes.
the soul. They're coming after the souls right now and wanting to digitally connect us and control us. Even emotionally, they can control us with the technology that they have available right now.
Well, I notice online a lot of truthers get stuck in the soul state triggered,
Hmm.
and they trigger us versus them. And I think this is a soul state that the Nag Hammadi text talked about, Jesus talked about, or Yeshua talked about. And it's basically the Nag Hammadi text is trying to get us to realize that the one tree to cut down is a soul state one, which is Christ consciousness. It's a pattern that's inside of you, is what the Nag Hammadi texts talk about. And then after that, it's easy to spiral out of control like a slide into getting triggered, S2.
Yeah.
S3 would be projecting, S4 comparing, S5 worshiping, S6 doubting, S7 disassociated, and then finally S8 loosed. So we get triggered out of the S1 soul state, which is Christ consciousness. We get tricked, triggered, and ultimately we get loosed, and our energy gets harvested, and that energy we don't have left over for the real adventures and battles that we came here to uncover and fight.
Yes. And you know what? The story of the Gnostic text is quite uh, amazing as well, because most of the Gnostic texts that we possess today were lost in the sands of time and literal sands of the Egyptian desert until their rediscovery in the mid 20th century. So what an amazing thing to
Well,
find.
and now they've all been uploaded to AI.
Hmm.
And I wanted to introduce on your show a content creator by the name of Breaking the Code, easy to remember, on TikTok. And what he's done is he's taken Sethian Gnosticism, which is a branch of Gnosticism from 2,000 years ago, and he's made a map out of it, and he displays that Sethian Gnostic manual on his TikTok account. It's
Oh,
really cool. It's
what do
called
you call it? Say the
Breaking
code.
the Breaking the Code.
Breaking the code. Okay.
It deals with Sethian, and Seth in metaphor means seed.
Yeah, well, AI can help a lot in these sorts of things, uh, in many different things, um, especially just documents, because you can ask for a specific event and it could steer you right to. I mean, even Google can do that as well. Uh, and I don't use Google. I use Start Page.
Right.
If you like privacy, I would not use Google, because Google has been pervasive into our privacy.
Oh yeah.
And Palantir is like the final step. They're working with Israel right now, uh, and they're basically going to spread. Peter Thiel, I don't know, something
Yeah.
about that name. He talked
Yeah.
about the Antichrist, and it's like he's talking very biblical. Meanwhile, he's got this technology that's biblical. And the Talmud final god, one of the gods, is AI. It is technology, and in the Bible, there's a reference to the statue that was given life and the power to speak, and there's AI right there. The data centers because they're statues, they don't move, and they can speak and think and talk to us. So everything's being fulfilled for those with eyes to see. It's right there before us, and if your faith is strong, I think the Creator helps us too to point us in the right direction.
See,
And give,
the big tech is after your authorship. A lot of people don't realize this. And so once they know all your personal details, they can target your inner authorship and change your
yep,
imagination.
yep. This
And
is
I really believe that to reclaim authorship, you've got to disengage from the loops, especially the idols and saviors that
yes.
the cult of external saviors constantly markets to us in a dizzying array
Mhm.
of personages.
Yes, yes, I have heard that too with Palantir. Um, they basically have stepped over the line at this point, and you have to basically into a courtroom to reestablish who you are, and it's unbelievable what the the point we're at right now as a human race. It's really quite frightening.
They want every man, woman, child, and animal completely in a prison cell,
Yeah,
while simultaneously there's a wide open door in the universe to walk through.
yeah,
That's what I want the listeners to recapitulate, is that there's a wide open door right in front of us. So
yeah.
never feel like you're in a prison. Uh, it's more like an initiation, and it's more like the universe put a key under the mat just in case you lost the
Mm,
key.
yeah. Yes, and that's kind of the mission of the show is the truth. We want to give you the truth and we want to help and we want to enlighten and empower. I've done 3 shows now on how to pray effectively and empower your prayer and, not let it get sent to all men or,
Right.
I mean, it's just unbelievable and I have to use these words all the time as a reference point. I have to say Jesus. I have to say God. But
Yeah.
then I have to tell you why I'm saying it, what it really means, and
Yes.
how the power of your words is so important that you say the right
Absolutely.
words. I did a show on the power of words. I did the show
Yeah.
on the meaning of words, the meaning of symbols. Like the swastika is the opposite of what they tell you it means. It means peace, love. I mean, it's the opposite. It's not a Nazi thing.
That that that's why I truly believe in reverse, release, restore in that
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen my channel, but I showcase a lot of backward speech,
Hmm.
which every 30 seconds our unconscious speaks in forward speech in reverse. About every 30 seconds. How's that for inner authorship?
Yep,
And
yep.
that's what the Nag Hammadi texts wanted us to remember, is how powerful we already are inside. That we have inner authorship and abundance. We can dissolve the idols. They had idols 2,000 years ago as well that they needed to disengage loops off of. So
Yeah.
their lessons aren't so different to today, especially with Hollyweird, MBA, soaps.
Yeah, and they tell us the truth in plain sight, like Vatican, and the picture of the inside of the building that looks like a snake. I mean, they're not even hiding, and the changing of the calendar, making it complex and complicated, and making us poorer and poorer when we really should be richer and more. A renaissance, all of these things have been stopped. Cars that run on water, and free energy, all these things. I mean, these people are just, they're so ugly inside. And if anything, Gadriel should hate these people because they're the ones that are not allowing mankind to be what we're meant to be, and to utilize the brains that the Creator gave us to, create beautiful arts and architecture and uh, music and technology. We've had moving sidewalks, that moved. You just walk on it, and the sidewalks moved for you. I mean, it's just so many ways that we could have such a more beautiful and prosperous and abundant
Well, I
living.
tell you what, brother, I'm coming back to this planet as many times as possible to make sure that that's a reality. And I think many of us are relentless,
Yeah.
persistent, loving, creative, and we will come back as
But
many times as it takes.
the thing is, I don't think there's any more. I think we're at the end of the cycle. I think we're coming to it. And I think that cycle is going to end within 4 months. No one knows the exact time or place, but I'm just saying, there is an 186-year cycle ending in November, and
Oh,
a lot of uh, things that were predicted by Jean Dixon.
mm-hmm,
I know she has been incorrect before,
mm-hmm.
but she did predict the blonde president, and that he would have a term on this, 2016, and then he would be fallen, or on the 2020, and then he would return, but he wouldn't finish his term, and this November he's just going to vanish. So, and he's not a villain or a hero, but a catalyst to end the cycle of slavery and loose farming, and he's going to be the catalyst to reveal. And as you are,
Yeah,
and myself, we're catalysts too, because we
yeah,
are telling
absolutely.
things that are not comfortable. People will just like run away screaming from some of the things that I could
Well,
say.
it's hard when you've had decades chewing through
Yeah.
loose
Oh,
farms like
yeah.
false Gnostic institutions. It's really
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. And many of the Gnostic texts are attributed to Jesus' apostles and other important figures from Christian and Jewish tradition. Um,
Well, the Gnostics also used mythopoetry as a style to uh, share sometimes mystical concepts in a framework of archetypes.
um, the Secret Book of John,
Yep,
Reality of the Rulers, a text that recounts and interprets episodes from the Gnostics' creation myth that illustrate the character of the demonic archons or rulers.
yep.
Um, yep. The Gnostic creation myth, knowledge, and about 3,000 words plus.
I like calling it
God,
gnosis because it's to know the truth, right?
yeah,
That's just
yeah.
my favorite way.
No
My
stick.
neighbor calls it noesis.
No stick is good too, because no stick.
Yeah, no stick.
You don't want to stick to lies. You know, and it's hard because people go to church, and they're really sincere. They pray out of sincerity. It's such a dirty and ugly thing that's been done to us.
Well, the church is filled with what I call the loose farm trauma bindings, and then I
Yeah.
call the button that we press for trauma bindings is usually labels.
Hmm. Yeah.
And this is outlined in the Nag Hammadi text. They make it perfectly clear that the archons, which is a Greek word for rulers,
Yeah.
and not just human collaborators, but invisible, non-human collaborators.
Mm.
Archons was the term. It's kind of like calling the rulers the elite in modern times, or the Illuminati,
My
the archontic
fascination,
rulers.
my fascination was all the things that they removed, like the Gospel of Thomas, which is a
Yeah.
Gnostic text.
Yes.
No, Gospel of Philip. You got
Yes.
the. I mean, my God. It's
And
insane what's been done to us. And there's so much information like under the Vatican, like libraries and libraries have stolen. Like they went to the Mayan and just robbed them, and stole everything. It's all under the Vatican. So they do not want us to know anything. And no matter what, every geographical place on Earth has information. That's what I just call it, ancient information, just documented information, a gathering of thoughts, a gathering of, experiences. I don't necessarily consider them all holy. They're just, stories and uh, passing along to the next generation. And, I appreciate those things, but to steal it and hide it, and call yourself a holy place, it's not fair to have that much power and then be tax free in Canada, to be able to spread what you consider okay for the public consumption, edited for public consumption, is not
yeah,
acceptable. It's not acceptable.
well, scripture, wrote. This is the
Yeah,
glue of the Gnostic archons. They
yeah,
rule 3D reality through repetition and script.
yeah.
And
That
this
is true.
isn't even, I mean, it is a debate, but it's not a debate we're having, because if it was a debate we're having, then again, everybody would understand what styles of speech free the mind and what styles of speech hinder our progress.
And that's, yes, and they do use words to take away your power, like, do you understand? When a
Yeah,
judge or a police officer says, do you understand? That is basically submission.
yeah,
You stand under.
under,
And this is a ruler's
yeah,
technique.
yeah.
And this is how they do it. And this is why we are here.
Are you do you know the streamer on Facebook, Todd Church?
Say that name again?
Todd Church.
Todd Church. I may have seen him before. It kind of rings a
He
bell.
his whole message is that words like electrician, magician all have the word CIA in them.
Mm.
So he said we're unconsciously repeating these satanic words
Yes.
verbatim,
Yep.
and it's annihilating our pure prophecy and
Yes.
imagination.
Yep. No,
And
absolutely.
what's one of the things that this wolf in sheep's clothing, the pastor at the Baptist church I told you about, he would yell at his audience. He would say things like, there are no more prophets. They all came and went. Really accusatory in his speech. And that would be after 45 minutes of his sermon on love. But he would wait until you're in an altered state of consciousness. He could read the audience, see when you're in delta and theta, right? And then he would plant those crazy styles of thought limitation. Another thing he'd say is, "You don't die Wednesday and come back Thursday. It don't work like that."
Yeah. Yep. And
It's
and
like,
that's it's good that we reveal. See, this is why I'm saying that we're close to the end, because it's like the Armageddon, not the Armageddon, apocalypse,
the
the lifting
twilight of
of
the
the veil.
gods, the Ragnarok.
So the truth is coming. Every rock is being turned over and revealed, and I love being on the right side of history, and I feel like that is what we are. I feel like we're on the right side. We're on the good side. We're here to save and free. And um, I know it's a very lonely place. The truth and is a very lonely place, because you realize how many people have been lied to. And but I can show it to you. Look at Superman. Superman is a story about the Sumerians,
Hmm.
the Anunnaki,
Hmm.
their planet. Except in the Sumerian tablets, they didn't destroy their planet, but
Hmm.
it was their firmament was heavily damaged, and they needed gold to fix it. So they knew how to repair it, and that's why they came here, because it was gold. So they came here to do that, and they steal our gold, all the gold in 9/11.
Well, and got us
under
to
the
do the
building.
labor, right?
All the gold under the 9/11 is gone. Canada sold all its gold. So gold is a part of this, and I think they appointed the kings and queens, the Rothschilds, and they're giving the gold to them. They have some kind of, they don't like staying here because their age, but Superman, all their names had L in it, Jor-El, and Elohim. It means deity kind. But like mankind, like man is one man, but mankind includes women and children. That's the same word as Elohim, a deity kind, which includes women and children.
Right.
And that's a secret I will die on, because
Yeah.
I think it has so much value, and it also makes the Bible and the Sumerian tablets work together.
Yes.
They actually are the same story at this point. What they did remove is the goddess, which I find offensive, just because in the Sumerian tablets she had authority. She was like the head scientist.
Well,
That
of
was
course, because
charged.
metaphorically, a woman represents our intuition faculty, and that's something the authorities can't let us have,
Yeah.
right? She is our faculty of intuiting the truth. So that's the energy that the church eradicated.
Yeah.
I said to the pastor, I said, "How come you have no women on the wall?" I show up the next week. There's a laser pointer on the wall, and there's a woman on the far stretch of the wall. I was like, finally.
Hmm. Let's see. That I wanted to get into a little bit more of the Gnostic text
Yeah.
before we wrap up, because
Yeah.
I wanted to try to touch on everything that people never heard before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll let you. I'll let
Okay.
you take this.
Well, for people who have been following mainstream Gnosticism, I would say that that is kind of like following Orthodox religion. It doesn't really give you the soul. And I'll give you an acronym for the word Gnosis that I think you'll enjoy. So if you take the first letter of Gnosis, it's G for grid. And you take, I want to give you an example of the grid. The grid is what the Gnostics called the mirror spells, the idol worshipping. Now, modernly, they would be digital cages, algorithmic loops, trauma bindings, false gnosis. Entertainment traps would be a big one. And
Mhm.
finally, sleep matrix. Most of us are unconscious that we're even on a loose farm. So what the Gnostics asked us to do is said, use G for Gnosis to know where you are on the grid. Then you use N for node. Node is the touch points. So how do you touch the grid? You touch the grid through N1 mirror, N2 idle, N3 scroll, N4 loop, N5 screen, N6 label, N7 trauma, N8 performance, and N9 comparison. So once you get past grid and N, which is node, you get to observation, and then you get S for sound, I for inner authorship, and S for sovereignty. So the word Gnosis has the grid, the nodes, and the exit protocol for how to, because that's the thing, people don't talk about the exit protocol right enough, the solutions. And I think one of the number one solutions, and this is me wanting to find common ground with everybody on the planet, is we all return energy to source when we sleep, right? So that's a main exit if you're feeling like you don't know what to do because the Archons have made the prison almost unseeable. You don't even realize that you're in a sleep matrix. You don't even know you're on a grid. You don't even know you're watching an entertainment trap. You don't even know you're touching that entertainment trap through your screen, your scroll, and your loop. And you don't even know what the exit protocol is. Well, one of the best exit protocols is something we all do planet-wide, and that is get some good sleep and return your energy to source. And that's what the
Yeah.
Gnostics wanted to recapitulate to us. Return your energy to source. However that is for you, find common ground. It could be grounding exercises. It could be breath patterns. It could be disengaging loops, reclaiming authorship, looking for treasure, having presence. But I think we've got to find common ground and be careful about the labels, because the semantic labels is what gets us caught in trauma bindings. And that is a loose farm, trauma bindings that many people find themselves on, like my mother, for instance. God bless her heart. And I mean, the one God, the one true God, bless her heart. And she's just loaded with trauma. And I find a lot of us are. So we've got to disengage loops and find our exit protocol in a way that we can all relate with. And be
Mhm.
careful about labels, because they take over our semantics. Like Jews, for instance. Calling someone a Jew is like calling somebody an Illuminati member,
Mhm.
right? That's not right.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah, a Jew is basically someone who practices Judaism. If I were to convert to Judaism, I would be a Jew. A Jewish is someone who's pretending to be a Jew, who's not really a Jew, who's just taking a title of a Jew, which would, we know who that is. And
And
it's
a
the
Jew
same with
is a human
Christianity.
being.
Yes, anyone can convert to Christianity, but look at Jim Jones. He killed all his people. So there are good and bad in any. So are there good Jews and bad Jews? And, it's not a Jew thing. It is a usury thing. That is the problem. Uh, in a Christian country, it's illegal to, charge interest and compound interest. It is unacceptable, an unacceptable practice that was stolen from Canada in 1974 by Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who ended the Bank of Canada's ability to give interest-free loans to the provinces and the cities and the federal government. But I hope we've helped and inspired some people to look into Gnosticism, Gnosis,
Gnosis.
the Nag Hammadi Library.
I also call it gnosis ship.
Yeah, it is.
Gnostic ship.
It might be hard for some, but the more you know, the more empowered you will be. And I'm empowered, and I'm really grateful that you would spend time here on your birthday. So thank you, and I wish you an amazing birthday. And I appreciate you so much for coming and spending time on the Truth Table and sharing your truth with us. And
Yeah, and just one last thing, I just wanted to say, check out Breaking the Code on TikTok. This is my
mhm.
friend Michael Setliff, and he will cheerfully give you the Sethian blueprint. It's shareable, and also my blueprint of the hypostasis of the archons, the Nag Hammadi text, is called the containment map of 3D reality. It's also shareable. So we've made the Sethian blueprint and the containment map shareable with AI, and you can punch it in the code. It's a mermaid code, so you can punch the mermaid code into Grok, into ChatGPT, or any that you use, and it's a very handy modern tool for the Gnostic texts.
Excellent. I actually added it to the description, the TikTok
Thank
Break
you
the
so much,
Code,
Paul.
so everyone can check it out. It'll be in the description. And I wish you a great day and a happy Canada's Day. Thank you,
Thank you
Trevor.
so much, man. Thanks.
And thank you all for joining me on the Truth Table on this July 1st, Canada Day. I wish you all the best.
answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!